Hey everyone, it's Jason Dunn here from Zune Thoughts, and we're looking at a computer screen that I have connected to a machine that is running the Zune software. I wanted to do a video just showing you the upgrade process and what the new Zune 4.0 software looked like, including what it's like to update the Zune HD with the new firmware, and then some of the new features that will appear once the firmware has been added on there. So that's why I'm not doing a screen capture session. I'm actually videotaping the sort of real live process so that I can implement physical items like the Zune HD in the video. So there's a couple different ways you can download the new Zune.net software, or the new Zune desktop software rather. You can go to Zune.net and just simply download it. You can open up your Zune software and or prompt you for an upgrade, and I think you can even get it via Windows Update. What I did is I just went to Zune.net and I just simply grabbed the software package. So it pops up, pretty typical, gives you a Windows prompt, because I'm running Windows Vista, and so now it's actually just going ahead and it's going to download a couple components. It's usually just things that the software needs. Okay, so that's what happens when you forget to mute your phone and you're doing a video. So yeah, sorry about that. So the Zune software has continued here. It's downloading the components. It's going ahead and it's preparing to install the new software update. It'll be interesting to see how an in-place update works, with library content, because it used to be with some of the older Zune software. When you installed it over top of an older version, there were sometimes issues with library content and it sort of scanning things properly. So I'm hoping that this in-place upgrade will go smoothly. Well, it's just sort of sitting here waiting, so I'm just going to pause the camera and I'll come back when this step is finished. And hopefully it goes pretty quick. The machine I'm installing this on is pretty decent. It's got an Intel Core 2 Extreme processor, 4 gigs of RAM, and a really fast hard drive. So your length of installation will differ radically depending on what kind of hardware you're using. So I see a little white bunny inside a box. That's kind of cool. I've never seen the white bunny before. Let's zoom out here. And I will delete the old installer off my desktop, and we will kick off and we will boot up the new Zune 4.0 software. And if you're not watching this in HD, if you can, you definitely want to try watching it in HD, because you'll see a lot more just resolution and things will look better for you. So the Zune software is booting up. It's doing some sort of an initial scan. One has to hope it doesn't take this long every time you load it up. I'm assuming it's doing some sort of a library conversion, but it would have been nice if Microsoft had said something. Oh, it's playing a video. That's pretty cool, actually. So there's a skip button down in the lower corner, but I'm just going to let this record and check it out. It's pretty neat, actually. So there's some of the HD content, TV and video content. Yeah, and there's Zune. Oh, I like it. Funky, funky. Okay, yeah, so we'll zoom in a little bit here. We explore the user interface a little bit. So it's giving me a welcome screen. It's talking about the quick play. The quick play is this, I'll just zoom out here for a second. The quick play is this user interface that you see over on the left here. You'll be able to actually pin certain things. So if there's a certain album or certain podcast or whatever, you can actually right click and pin it directly on your screen here. And then over here we have the new, which I'm assuming is sort of like new content or new content that's been recently added to your library. And then I think in the middle we're actually going to have history. So I'm going to zoom in here again for a second, and basically it talks about shopping for different content. Oh, let me zoom out here. So this actually shows you that I can sort of pivot left and pivot right. And yeah, so this is definitely new content, because this is actually showing me UFC Fight Night and a daily show that I just recorded, I think, last night. So it's definitely showing me the newest content, which is really cool. Yeah, so basically go to your collection, shop for music and videos, or 14-day free Zune Pass trial. So I'm going to click on go to my collection. Okay. So as you can see, after you click and go to your collection, it takes you back to essentially the user interface that we're sort of used to, which is kind of interesting. I'm going to go in here under settings, and I think under display, yeah. So if I look under display now, they've actually added a couple different options. So there's this kind of funky looking one. Okay, kind of neat. Geisha or Geisha, Slate, Everglade. So it's kind of funny. They have all these different options, but there isn't one that's actually like just for black, which is kind of interesting. But up here, if I go back to Quick Play, Quick Play has the black user interface, which is, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. I'm not sure why they didn't just have the whole thing, give you an option to have the whole thing be black. So enough about this for the moment. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my Zune HD. So it is just booting up right now. And actually, one of the things I noticed is that when you you turn on the Zune HD, use it for a minute, you turn it off, and then you just kind of leave it. With the typical Zune devices wouldn't go into sort of the deep sleep mode for several minutes. Actually, it would maybe even hours. Like it took a while. I noticed this thing goes into sleep mode kind of right away, and so I'm not entirely sure why that happens. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here and I'm going to connect it to the dock. Now this dock is this is a previous generation dock, and it fits, but it is a little bit loose, and so that's something you're going to want to take into account. I don't have one of the new Zune HD docks just yet. It's something that I need to hopefully acquire. So I've connected my Zune, and the desktop software is going ahead, and it is Windows Vista is actually recognizing the Zune right now. So I'll zoom in here so you can see what that looks like. So it's just going through and it's scanning, it's a drivers folder, and after a couple seconds here, it should come back and give me, the Zune driver. I'll zoom out here for a second and I'll show you that the Zune HD is playing that video. And so I remember on my last Zune series of videos on the second gen devices, I was kind of amazed because it looks sort of like a screensaver, and this is, I think, sort of a similar kind of thing. I've noticed this video playing automatically when I've had the device plugged into power, and so I'm not sure if that's just some sort of a demo mode that maybe these first devices have when they first come, from Microsoft, and they don't have the updated firmware on them. I don't truthfully know, but at any rate, that's the video, so it's pretty cool. So we'll go back here and we'll look at the software. It is still searching the pre-configured drivers folder. So that's kind of weird. I mean, I've already installed the Zune, the 4.0 software. You think that it would be able to find the driver immediately. So it's a bit unfortunate that it's not. I'm going to go ahead and just pause the camera here, and I'll unpause it and we'll get back to this once something new happens. Alright, so we're back. So I connected the Zune, and interestingly enough, it's actually telling me that I need to restart my computer. If you look up here, it's saying that I need to restart the computer to apply the changes. That's really bizarre. I mean, I just connected the device over USB, and I need to restart the whole computer in order for it to work. So I don't know why Microsoft, sort of chose to do that, or what sort of, I guess, what the technical reason for having to do that is, but it's kind of lame. Windows doesn't need to be restarted nearly as often as it used to be, in years gone by, and so it's a little bit weird to see Microsoft forcing a restart, but we got to do what this Zune software says. So I'm going to pause the camera, restart my computer, get back into this process, and hopefully we can actually update the Zune then.